Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday with Maple Tree Cancer Alliance. Whether you're newly diagnosed, undergoing treatment, or in recovery, this conversation is for you. I'm Evan, an exercise oncology instructor, and today's conversation is on exercise myth busting. The information in this video is for educational purposes only, and it's important to consult with your medical team for more in-depth guidance and advice. As always, following our conversation today, stick around for some gentle movement with an exercise video from our Maple Tree On Demand library. So, when it comes to fitness, there's no shortage of advice, but not all of it is rooted in the truth. From the belief that exercise can make up for a bad diet to the idea that you have to sweat buckets for a workout to be effective, exercise myths are everywhere. Today, we're going to take a look at some common exercise myths that you may have heard or even believed to be true and offer some insight to the truth behind these beliefs. The first myth that we'll look at today is the common phrase, no pain, no gain. Many people believe that you have to push yourself to the point of extreme pain to see results. The more painful, the more of a benefit that you'll get out of it. Despite this myth being so widespread, the truth is that while feeling your muscles working or feeling the burn while exercising is okay, pushing through pain often leads to injury. Anytime you feel sharp, sudden, or shooting pain, you should stop exercising and avoid that movement. Results come from smart and consistent training, not pain. Our next myth that we'll look at today is the concept of spot reduction, or the idea that you can reduce fat in a specific area by doing exercises that target that area. You'll often hear people say things like, I want to lose some of my belly fat, so I'm going to do sit ups more often. While sit ups are a great exercise, the truth is that's not how fat reduction works. Fat loss occurs when more calories are burned than the amount that has been consumed. Commonly, this is achieved through diet, exercise, or most ideally, a combination of both. So while sit ups can burn calories, it's not going to burn the fat around the targeted muscles. The body actually has its own process for deciding how and where fat is burned, usually deciding to prioritize maintaining the fat that surrounds and protects vital organs, such as belly fat. Our next myth is the belief that if you don't sweat, you didn't work hard enough or the workout was not beneficial. The truth here is that sweating is just the body's cooling system. Exercise does heat up the body, which in turn causes us to sweat, but this is not a reliable predictor of exercise quality. Many factors play a role in sweating, such as hydration and external temperature. Some people are also just naturally more or less prone to sweating. The various benefits from exercise are all independent from whether or not the activity actually made us sweat. Much like the belief that you need to sweat for it to be a good workout, there's also the common belief that exercise is not beneficial if it doesn't make you sore. The truth here is that while soreness can come as a result of exercise, it is also not a marker of exercise quality. Muscle soreness usually occurs after very intense exercise or when you're new to exercise as a result of microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. While these tears are an important part in the process of building muscle, the body adapts as you start to exercise more, and overall less soreness is felt. Excessive soreness is often a sign that you are pushing yourself too hard or not giving yourself enough rest. Another common myth, this one usually among women, is the idea that lifting weights will cause you to look more bulky from excessive muscle gain. The truth here is that while lifting weights aids in the process of building muscle, muscle building is actually a slow process that happens in very small amounts. It's much easier said than done to add large amounts of muscle, and it's often a process that requires an extremely dedicated and calculated effort. For most people, weightlifting is a great form of exercise that has numerous benefits, and there's not much truth to the idea that you'll look more bulky just by engaging with this form of exercise. Another common myth is the idea that you can outwork a bad diet, or the belief that if you exercise frequently, you don't need to worry about what you eat. The truth here is that regardless of how fit you are or how frequently you exercise, nutrition still plays a substantial role in your health. A bad diet can lead to various negative health effects and even minimize the benefits achieved from exercise. It's best not to throw away your hard work, so make sure you're prioritizing your diet alongside your exercise. A myth that I see very often is the idea that long sessions are required in order to see results. The session length here can vary. I've seen some sources say workouts should last at least an hour, and I've even seen some try and say that you're not going to see results if you don't work out for 3 hours. The truth here is that you can see very significant benefits even with short bouts of exercise. If you don't have a full hour and only have 20 to 30 minutes, that's okay. Your workout will still be beneficial. Even for those who can only spare 5 to 10 minutes at a time, do that 3 or 4 times throughout the day, and your workout will still be beneficial. Plain and simple, doing something is always better than doing nothing. So keep in mind that the true marker for a beneficial program is not length, but rather consistency. Our final myth today focuses on quick fix programs. Unfortunately, many of these programs are the ones that you see advertised online or on TV claiming that you can lose lots of weight in a short time span with their program. The truth here is that while it's never bad to begin an exercise program and to start being more active, many of these quick fix programs exist to lure you in with unrealistic results. Extreme fat loss over short periods is not only unrealistic, but also unhealthy in many cases. While it would be nice if there was a quick fix, real, healthy, and sustainable fat loss is achieved slowly with consistent efforts over long periods of time. Thank you for joining our conversation on exercise myth busting today. I hope the information has brought you clarity, comfort, and encouragement. Your health and well-being matter most, so keep taking care of yourself and holding on to hope. Thanks for tuning in. Now, let's transition into some gentle movement. Today's routine is a sample from our Mapletree On-Demand library, available on the Mapletree Cancer Alliance app. Subscribe monthly or yearly to access safe, empowering exercise videos for every stage of the cancer journey. Ready to join? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen.
Hey guys, it's Morgan, your exercise oncology instructor with Mapletree Cancer Alliance. Welcome to week 5. For today, it'll be helpful to have a sturdy chair and a lightweight dumbbell or some other lightweight object such as a water bottle or canned foods. As a reminder, the following exercises are meant to be pain-free. If you notice any pain, stop and discontinue the movements or move on to a movement that is pain-free. There may be some discomfort with this, but as designed, we shouldn't have any pain. All right, guys, for our warm-up, we're gonna start off with lateral elbow extensions and a fist squeeze. So what that's gonna look like is we are going to bring our hands into the middle with our elbows up, and we're extend out and give that fist a good squeeze, relax, come back in, extend, fist squeeze, come back in again. And we're gonna do this for 8 times. So we're on rep number 4. And remember, if you're not able to get those elbows up nice and high, having them out to the side, extending as far as you can, getting those elbows up as far as you can is all perfectly fine. So extend, squeeze, and bring it back to the center. Our next movement is gonna be our shoulder rolls, and we're gonna do this 10 times. So we're gonna roll those shoulders up to our ears, squeeze them into the back, push them down, and squeeze to the front, up, back, and down. We're gonna do this about 10 times. If you don't feel like you can do super large movements because of pain, just doing little small shoulder rolls is exactly what we want to do. All right, and we're gonna do 2 more. And then we are gonna do some forward neck rolls. So what that's gonna look like is we're gonna bring our chin down to our chest, and we're gonna roll to the side, roll back through the front, and roll to the side again, and roll back to the front. And just keep going side to side, and 1 more. Hopefully your hair is not getting in your face like mine. But that's okay, because we're gonna sit back up and we're gonna do a shoulder blade squeeze. So we're gonna put our arms at our side with nice tight elbows and squeeze those shoulders together and relax. Really kind of pulling those elbows, almost trying to touch our elbows behind our back. And remember, if this movement isn't possible, just go ahead and skip it or make it a little bit smaller so we still get that range of motion that we're going for, but it's not painful. And 1 more. And lastly, for our last warm-up movement, we're gonna do an overhead reach with heel taps. And so we're going to reach up and extend our heel in the front and tap, and then come back to center, extend that heel to the front, tap, back to center. And we're gonna do this 4 times, so we have 2 more. And reach only as high as you can. And last one, And that is it for our warm-up. We're gonna move on to our HIIT workout. All right, guys. So for this week, we are going to be working for 45 seconds and resting for 15. So we've increased our work time by 5 seconds and decreased our rest time by 5 seconds. So hopefully these are getting a little bit easier, but also a little bit more challenging with that cardiorespiratory endurance. Our first movement is going to be a front jab with heel taps. And what that's gonna look like is you're gonna grab your weights and you're gonna jab front and punch with that heel tap on the opposite leg. And so we're gonna be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Got some nice fun pink weights today. And remember, if getting your arms up to parallel doesn't work for you, that's okay. As long as we're punching and jabbing at the height that's comfortable, that's exactly what we want to do. All right, and we have about 20 seconds left. Try to work through that whole time. It gets a little bit more challenging near the end. And 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. So we only have 15 seconds, so try and get as many of those deep belly breaths in as we can. And we are starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second set. As always, we're doing 3 sets of each movement before we move on to the next. Really starting to feel the burn with this one. So if you're getting tired, you can either drop your weights or you can just move a little bit slower. But we still want to work that whole 45 seconds. All right, 10 seconds left on our second set. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. And deep belly breaths with that nice upright posture. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and last set. So really try to push yourself on this one, that we are trying to work that whole time. Get in that little bit of extra effort. If you need to drop those weights, shake it out. It's all good, but get back on it so we get all that work in. Almost there. All right, and we have 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, our second movement is going to be chest flies with a side heel tap. So we're going to be having slightly bent elbows, pulling to the front and doing those heel taps out to the side. Okay, we have about 7 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. All right, elbows up, pulling in. Think about you're trying to crush something in between your hands. This one is a little bit more challenging than our front jabs. So if you need to drop those weights, which I might, that's okay. We just want to keep it moving in good form and not too slow. Make sure we're breathing. And we got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. I think for the second and third set, I'm gonna have to drop these weights. That is a tough one on the arms. And starting in 3, 2, 1, and bringing that chest together. Still act like we are trying to crush a ball in between those hands. If you still have weights, that's fantastic. All right. Remember, those heel taps go out to the side, just in case we forget or get mixed up. All right. And keep it going. Try and keep those elbows up. If we're not able to, bring those arms down and bring those hands together, trying to crush that ball in the middle. And we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And if we need to do some shoulder rolls, arm stretches, that's okay. And we're starting in 3, 2, 1, and we're on our third set. So we're gonna crush that ball. Really try to use those shoulders, that we're not just using those little muscles in our arms. We wanna use those big muscles in our back and our chest. All right, third set, almost done. We got about 20 seconds left. As we get tired, try to push through it just a little bit. We don't want any pain, but we also want to get better too. And 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay. Now we have our seated side jumping jacks. So what that's going to look like is we are going to have one weight, or actually we're going to have 2 weights, but we're going to do one side at a time. So we're going to extend up and out like a star on each side, and then bring it back to center. So we're going out to the side and back to center, and go. So you can rest those weights on your legs each time we come back while the other side is working. But remember, we want to keep that chest nice and upright, abs activated, and try to breathe through this. If you need to scoot to the edge of your chair so that your legs can move a little bit more freely, please do so. And we're just going to keep working. We have about 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo, okay. First set down. And starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Remember, we want those weights out to the side, not in front. If this range of motion bothers us, just go ahead and raise those arms to where it's comfortable, or even sub out a bicep curl for that overhead side movement with our arms. We got 15 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, deep belly breaths. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're on our last set of these jumping jacks. So if we're getting super tired, again, we can kind of sub out that bicep curl for that overhead press, or press only halfway. Whatever works for you, that we're still working through our time and getting that muscle burn in there. Or if you need some extra challenge, you can do it at the same time. And And we are going to rest in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, deep belly breaths. And our next movement is going to be bicep curls with high knees. So we're going to curl on the same side with that high knee. And starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. So you can rest those bicep curls or those weights on your legs as the other side is working. So we're doing a lot of unilateral strength stuff today so that we can strengthen each side individually so that it'll be stronger when we put it all together and do bilateral movements. All right, we got 15 seconds. All right, keep it going. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And we have our first set down. If you want to scoot back on your chair a little bit to give you a little bit more stability, this is a good one to do that on. And starting in 3, 2, 1, and high knees with that bicep curl on the same side with that nice straight back, tight core, and breathing all through those movements. All right, we're about 20 seconds away from our rest, so keep moving. If you want to increase your weights for these because it feels a little bit easier, then please do so. And we are resting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have one more set left. And then we still have one more movement until we're done with our HIIT workout. And starting in 3, 2, 1, curl and high knees. So I want to challenge you guys. I want you to try and work through this whole 45 seconds without stopping if you're capable of doing that. All right, we're halfway through. Keep it going. Last set. And 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, guys, our last movement of the day is our reverse flies. So while we're taking this 30-second break, what it's gonna look like is we're gonna lean forward just a little bit, hinging at those hips, keeping a flat back. We're gonna squeeze those weights together and then pull our shoulder blades together in the back. So if this doesn't really work for you mobility-wise, just squeeze as far as you can, focusing on that back. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So leaning forward, pulling those shoulder blades together, high elbows, leaning forward with a nice neutral spine, no round in our back. All right. We have about 20 seconds left, and it's helpful to kind of look at the object in front of you, which is probably going to be the floor, just because we are inclined at our hips, and that helps us keep that nice neutral spine. We have about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and rest. And this might be another one of those movements that we have to ditch our weights, but try to make it through because we are almost done with our HIIT workout for the day. And 3, 2, 1, lean forward, straight back, pulling those shoulder blades together. Think about trying to pop a balloon in between those shoulder blades. And if you need to keep those elbows a little bit farther down for range of motion, that's perfectly fine. We can still squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back. Or if your arms are just getting tired, bring them down. All right. We have 10 seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and we have one more set left. I'm gonna ditch my weights because my arms are getting tired, but we can still do this movement just the same without those weights. And starting in 3, 2, 1. So lean forward, squeeze those fists, pretend we got some weights in there. And we're just gonna squeeze those shoulder blades together. Those high elbows, leaning forward. Make sure you're breathing through this movement. All right, almost done. We got 20 seconds. All right, you got it, guys. And 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, guys, fantastic job today. We are gonna move on to our cool down stretches. We are gonna do some trunk rotations. So what that's gonna look like is hand assisted or by yourself. You can put your hands across your chest and we're gonna pull our shoulder to trying to hit the opposite side of our chair. And then we're gonna do the other side. And we're gonna do this 4 times, so twice on each side. We can also have arm assisted, that are hands on the back of our chair, and we're pushing with that arm, almost like we're trying to crack our back. So hand on the outside of your leg and pull. Again, if this is painful, just use that cross arm rotation. Then we have our side stretch. So we're going to reach overhead and use that hand on the opposite leg and kind of pull just a little bit, opening up that shoulder. We're gonna do it on the other side, hand on the outside, reach and pull. And we're gonna do it twice on each side. If you aren't able to do that overhead stretch, just reach as far as you can, or even put those hands on those hips and kind of hinge at your side. Next, we're gonna do our neck turns. So we're just gonna turn our head to our shoulder, nice and slow, back and forth. We're gonna do this 6 times. So we have 2 more left. Last one, and last one. And then we're gonna do our neck tilts. And so we're gonna bring that ear to our shoulder, and nice and slow to the opposite side. You might get some nice neck cracks in there, but our goal is to stretch out our neck and get our neck feeling good after all of that work. And we have 2 more. And last one. Lastly, for our cool down stretches, we're gonna do our butterfly chest stretch. So what that's gonna look like is we're gonna put our hands behind our head and we're going to pull those elbows together and then pull those elbows apart in the back and together. And we're gonna do this 6 times. If we aren't able to put our hands on our heads, we can put our hands on our hips and we can still kind of round our back and then extend, using those elbows, giving us a little bit more leverage, so that we can get that nice stretch in our torso. We have 2 more, stretching together and then apart, sticking that chest out. All right, fantastic job today. We finished week 5. See you next week.